This video is all about the dark moon. Now, there is otherworldly about the dark moon. It is the final breath before the new cycle begins, the day before we roll into the new moon energy. Now, there is something special about people who were born on the dark moon. I was born on the dark moon within the 12 to 24 hours before the new moon, okay? Now, this is a time when the last sliver, like it's barely there before the complete darkness. A lot of people talk about it being shadow time and shadow work, but I have other meanings for it. And if you were born under this moon, this is a special time for you, okay? So, this cycle is the waning crescent, or also considered the balsamic moon. It is a time of closure and inner wisdom, which, if you were born under this dark moon, that means that you may be an old soul wisdom, have intuitive depth, or maybe even pull towards solitude or even like spiritual practices. You may have the ability to see beyond the veil between what is seen and unseen, okay? Now, this balsamic moon or the dark moon as they call it is a phase that is about it's not really about doing or achieving in a typical sense. It's really about integration and release. And honestly, it's all about divine trust in the invisible, the things that you can't see but you can feel, okay? That intuition. So those born under that dark moon often feel called to help others or navigate transitions, okay? Sometimes without even knowing why. You may be pulled towards helping somebody and you're not even sure how you're going to help them, but you know you are helping them, okay? Just by being there. So, how it feels to be born in a dark moon is I guess it can make you feel like you're always just a little out of sync with the collective rhythms. Okay. So people who are born under the dark moon are usually at their strongest the day before when everybody else is releasing, when other people are getting rid of all the things they don't need to be getting rid of, they don't need to be holding on to. They, you as a dark moon baby, um, you are actually at the height of your manifestation, your dreaming, your intuition, the things that you really need to make happen. Okay. So, most people during this time have they sit in their reflection, their dreams, their energetic shifts, but you might actually feel more energized and productive during this waning phase. When others are slowing down, you might sense things before they happen without always understanding why. You also may carry ancestral, karmic, or collective themes that you are here to transmute or complete. Okay. You may be needing to complete a karmic contract within your past lives. Okay. So, but you also may need more time alone to process, especially during noisy or like outward focused seasons. When other people that are born in other moons are rolling strong, you may be coming inward. Okay, so I was born within that 12 to 24-hour phase of the new moon, that dark moon day. And typically it is known as the balsamic moon, but this is that final phase in the lunar cycle. And for most of my life, I did not quite feel like I resonated with the advice of astrologers that they gave around the new moon. I just didn't feel connected to it. We all live in our own cycle. We may start at one specific moon. Now, you can still use generalized energy out there. That's the new moon manifesting, and then you're releasing at the full moon, and then that cycle goes round and round. But just think if you actually shifted that circle to fit your birth date, your birth moon, okay? So this is a time when I come alive. It really sharpens my intuition and sharpens my creativity flow. And it may for you too. I actually get really in tune with myself that waning crescent phase, but especially that final day before the new moon, okay? And I used to honestly feel like something was off within me. And then I started really digging deep into the lunar cycles and what those lunar cycles kind of mean, and how me being born during a certain moon phase kind of helped change my thought process. I can now honor my own energetic rhythms rather than forcing productivity during times when it just didn't feel right. I am now able to really truly embrace my gifts, not only as a healer or a guide, I should say, or an intuitive, but I can also let go of the comparisons that I should be doing these things on a timeline according to what's going on in society, right? No, I now can trust that my power, your power, you guys, your power comes from the deep, unseen layers, those cycles that you don't quite feel you fit into. Your power comes from finding that certain cycle, okay? So you were not born to follow the crowd. You were actually born to feel, reflect, and illuminate what others can't see. Especially if you were born on that dark moon. If you were born within that waning crescent phase, you still have these abilities, but being born actually on the dark moon, that's where you really see that depth, okay? Now, I want you guys, whoever, you can even do this on a regular dark moon. If you, even if you weren't born on the dark moon, you can do this practice. You can take essential oils like vetiver, which is really good for grounding and clarity. It's for tranquility and steadiness and being calm. You can take myrrh. Myrrh is one of my favorites because as someone who was born in that dark moon, it's almost like I absorb others' energies. Okay. And you may feel that way too. I like to use myrrh in my blends, helps you release the trauma of others. So you don't hold on to the energy of other people's trauma. Okay. And then I use lavender in it too. And lavender is amazing because it helps you with clarity and balance, but it's also compassionate and it brings comfort. It's that like cozy blanket on a rainy day. That's what lavender does for me. So vetiver, myrrh, and lavender, just one drop of each. I put about 10 drops total in my 10 to 12 in my roller bottle, my 10 milliliter one. And then I add coconut oil or jojoba oil. Now, you're going to anoint on your pulse points, or I like to actually just do a little X right here on my wrist. Then I rub my wrists together and I breathe it in deep. And then I also put it right behind my ears so that I can hear the messages that are coming to me. And then I put it right down my throat so that I can speak in my own truth and I can help others speak in their truth. So, what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and get your essential oil set. Then you're going to grab a journal. Okay, so grab your journal and you're going to write down any of the things that you are ready to release, maybe patterns, beliefs, or fears. And you want to really ask yourself, what inner knowing am I ready to reclaim? That's a huge one because right now, this dark moon, you can still release, but you need to be ready to take back that energy because this is when you're strong. Okay, it's not about always being in the shadows. It's not at all. You shine the most in the dark, okay? So light that candle, grab your journal, get your essential oils on you, and then just sit with this energy for a little bit. Maybe put some meditation music on or something, or heavy metal. I like heavy metal too. Actually, I like gangster rap. I mean, put whatever puts you into that mode, okay? And then I want you to close your practice with gratitude for the stillness, for the shadow, and for the wisdom that this time brings. Okay. So, being born, my final thoughts here, being born in the dark moon, it isn't a flaw or a fluke. It is a sacred energy, you guys, because you are born to be the bridge between cycles. You are a carrier of closure and clarity, but you're also a keeper of deep wisdom. So remember that you are absolutely needed in this world. And as I am too, because we're here to bring the light to things that are normally in the dark, okay? You are here to shine brightly when others are falling into the depths of the dark. So keep on shining, my friends, and I will see you guys in the next video. Make sure you subscribe, like, blah, 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 and all that great stuff. So, anyway, I'll see you guys later.